up question mark or no? I'm about to go with no. So what if they got some spooky aliens? Don't we all? Don't we all got some spooky aliens laying around that we don't let people know about? Got some new enemies. Still fighting triangles. It's amazing. This game is truly incredible in so many ways. I've been continuously blown away. Man, Ellie's doing big damage. How's it going, Raph? I'm learning a lot here because these guys are really easy, so I'm using a lot of combos on them. Almost got that one learned. Satan is really close to a lot. Rare earth. So wait, do those combos have like elements? Sounds cool. What that does. What? What? Why did it what? Why was the animation for this fight different? Don't even start, Rod. Oh my god. I still can't believe that comment. Take this. Rocks. Rock attack. What was that weird animation? I am perplexed. Another save point. Kind of prepare me for something, game. I'm starting to see more. We were talking last week about the soundtrack in this game and it being kind of limited. And I didn't really agree at the time, but we have found the save point factory. Yeah, the more we play, the more I kind of realize like a lot of the songs are repeated a lot. Especially this one. What's this? Memory cube data? Is it the thing we usually use to save? This is like oddly meta. The information of all the people who have accessed the memory cube from all over the world is being sent here now. This facility is the Integration Control Center? What's it for? I don't know, let's just drop the topic, I guess. I mean, I don't think, like, the size of a soundtrack really, like, matters too much. But when you start hearing the same songs in areas that feel like they should have different songs, that's where it kind of becomes a problem. And I feel like this area should have a different song than, like, the prison, the desert prison. You know what I mean? Like, it kind of made sense before because it was another prison, but now we're out of the prison, so, like, I don't know, it does feel kind of cheap. Like, I don't think a game is inherently bad if it reuses some music. Like, I don't think it, like, is a big problem, but when you're going to, like, two completely different areas and you hear the same exact song, it does kind of grate a bit. Where it's like, oh man, and especially given how good the music is in this game, it's like, man, I wish I had more. Like, I wish I had a different song here. I think what bothers me more than, like, area music is when music is reused every time that it's trying to convey a certain emotion. That was one of my biggest gripes with Final Fantasy 16. In Final Fantasy 16, every single time we're supposed to feel sad, it plays the same exact song. Like, you could be in an area and doing a side quest, and it could be playing a brand new song that fits that area, but the moment you're supposed to feel sad, it plays the same exact song every time. And it gets really grating, because it makes it feel like the game's trying to, like, force your emotion. Like, oh, now's the sad song, you gotta be sad now. Like, it's really awful. I hate it. Even if they just had, like, 2 songs that were, like, that they swap between every time there was a sad moment, that would be enough to probably be fine. But the fact that it's just always that same couple notes that drop every single time someone's like, time for the sad part. Final Fantasy 16 is what I'm talking about. If I had the song, I'd play it right now, so you'd probably hear it and get PTSD, like, oh yeah. They play it a lot, too, because pretty much everywhere you go, there's someone telling a sad story about the town they live in, so it's, like, kind of constant, also. What is this thing? A gear? No, look, the surface of the armor isn't segmented. It's the same as Bart's gear and Vari, and the gear we saw in Shavat. It's an Omni gear. But this thing is huge. Yes, it's got to be around 3 times as powerful as our gears. I think I just came up with that number. So this is Solaris's Omni gear. I love that there's, like, no one protecting it or anything. Like, we just kind of walked in. I mean, they're probably not used to intruders, so all they got is these triangles, but... I don't know, it seems kind of suspicious we're allowed to just walk right in. Also, a lot of people were saying, like, the song, the big epic song in this game is kind of ruined by the choo-choo moment. And that's another instance where it's like, we could have protected that song if there were just more songs to play. But because we ran out of songs, we had to play that song during that moment, and then it kind of ruined that song, you know? So that's an instance where, like, yeah, if the soundtrack was just a bit bigger, then that problem wouldn't have happened. So, yeah, I do think the size of the soundtrack is a bit of a criticism you can give the game, because it does kind of affect the game in a couple different ways. Jailbreak! Yo, long time. It's me, the one who owned that dog in Kislev. I may look like this, but the dog's doing fine. Please, don't think about letting me out. Even though I'm still conscious, eventually I'll... Is he a zombie? Good day. Oh no. We have set you free so we can murder you. Power bad. They're jumping on us and exploding? That's a bit unfortunate. Scales. You opened it. I told you not to open it. Ah, my mind, Min. Sounded like a Final Fantasy VII sound effect. Oh. He's taking a turn for the worse. Yeah, it sounded like the weapon sound effect. Yeah, I'll have to check that album out when I'm done with the playthrough. I try not to listen to soundtracks until I finish a game. Just I like to hear the music for the first time at the moment. Makes it more emotionally charged, I guess. Hear a song for the first time in the time that the composer wanted you to hear it. Yeah, feel free to post it on the Discord when we finish the playthrough. Man, these things just have so much health. That move is really cool looking. Does anyone see Mark? My dog, please take care of him. We must save the doggo. Yeah, it does. He gets that like clone, and he like pow 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 pow. Increases defense. But it doesn't say by how much. Like the defense stat doesn't go up. What? God. You want some of this? Too dumb to go out the door? Help me. My body. We just do this. No! Sorry, I failed. Dang right you failed. Hey, good to see you, Gibson. The elevator is locked. Can't deal with how zoomed in the map is and the 360 scrolling. It's impossible for me to tell where I'm going. You should have seen the stealth area we did before this. The camera was like way far behind us and you could only see down the hallways. You couldn't see like where Faye was. I kind of feel like eating you up. Okay then. That's fair. We all feel that way from time to time. If I had a nickel for every time a girl told me that. I'd owe someone a nickel. Whoa, this thing is cracked. ETH defense, evade percent, and its defense is better than what I had already. That had no abilities. Okay. Blah 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 blah. You gotta be getting close to some of these death blows. So I'm pretty convinced, now that I've been doing this for a while, that you do have to put in the correct combo to get XP towards a death blow. You can't just have, like, some of the buttons be the same. It, like, genuinely has to be the exact button input. Which is kind of a shame, like... I feel like that's a bit too... need a guide if you're ever gonna get them in a reasonable amount of time. Or, the alternative, you do a single combo. Like, you check the status screen, and you say, like, okay, Koho is at 69. And you go into the fight, and you do a single combo, and then see if that number went up. Ba 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 ba. And then if it didn't, do that over and over again until you notice it go up, and then you'll know that that's the right combo. It's just not very user-friendly at all. Like, I think what would have been great is if you put in the right combo, if it just showed on the screen, you know? You see a little thing come up that says +1 to next attack. +1 to that attack. That'd be all you need. That'd be great. And then in every fight, you would have like a little bit of a... you'd have the question of like, do I want to try to upgrade my combo, or do I want to try to kill this enemy? And there'd be like a give and take. But at least you would know what the heck you're doing. Yeah, it's just kind of a shame. Like, it's a bit too... Because, like I've been told many times through the comments, your death blows directly coincide with the moves you can use in your gears. So it's really important. And, like, you can easily get soft-locked if you don't know enough death blows, and then you get into an area where you have to be in your gear, and your gear sucks. So, like, it's pretty important that you learn the death blows. So for how important it is, it feels very not user-friendly. And furthermore, the way that it's balanced, I feel like, is off, because if you know what you're doing, or if you look it up, then I feel like you're going to get too strong too fast, because you're going to immediately learn them all. Or at least the ones the game allows you to learn at that time. So I feel like there was a better way to do this. Forgot to check the combo, by the way. So now I don't know. Let's do the same one. Just that. Oh wait, I think I did square square actually. Legend of Legaia is similar, but you only have to do it once and then you learn it. And then it's kind of based on like your level and how many attacks you can do to where you can learn like the really strong stuff. So I really like the way Legend of Legaia does it. I mean, I can talk all day about how great Legend of Legaia is, but... And what's also awesome about Legend of Legaia is when you find a new combo, there's a big epic animation that plays and it feels really rewarding. Instead, this is like just a big grind and then just a little bloop at the end of the fight. Like, Legend of Legaia, it feels so rewarding to find a new combo. You get to see it right away and it's just like awesome. Let's play cards. You'll be God. I don't think it's awful. It's still really unique. Like, it's still a great system that's really unique to other RPGs. And, like, the act of getting death blows and then using them in your mechs is, like, really cool. I just think that it could have been better. I think that's a bit too... Like, just a little bit of quality of life would have went a really long way. Like I said, if you did a combo and it popped up and said, like, +1, that would be incredible. Like, that would be awesome. That would make all this work so much better. And you wouldn't have to go into this menu all the time, and the menus are already really slow. Like, whenever you hit menu, you have to sit there and wait for it to load, and then you have to go through these slow menus, and then after you exit the menu, you have to wait for it to load again. Like, I have to wait several seconds every time I exit out of the menu. So, like, less menu would be really nice, given how slow they are. But no, I mean, it's still really... This is still a really unique system that I really like. And makes you use your brain. It's genuinely still up there as like a really good PS1 battle mechanic. It's just could have been better. They could have learned a lot from Legend of Legaia. Combine the two, you could have had like the ultimate system. Good question. I don't know. I don't know the year Legend of Legaia came out. Down? Question mark? Somebody Google it. Is that a brain in a jar? Is that a giant stomach in a jar? Is this Metroid Prime? What is this? What am I playing? Silver! Thank you so much for the 62. Really? They were 1 week apart. That's really funny. Man, it blows my mind how ahead of its time Legend of Legaia was. It's crazy. To have a combat system similar to Xenogears, but look the way Legend of Legaia looks, and come out at the same time, like, holy cow. Legend of Legaia is insane, man. It's like some kind of magic. I think a meteor came out of the sky and landed on the planet, and when they went through the rubble, they found Legend of Legaia. Because, man, some kind of divine intervention happened with that game. It's not perfect. There's a lot of things wrong with Legend of Legaia, but there's so much that just feels so ahead of its time. What in the world is going on here? Thank you for the save point, because I feel like something's about to go down. Oh, I feel that way definitely about this game, too. But in a different way. Legend of Legaia has the wow factor from the moment you start it. That's like, wow, this game was so ahead of its time. Xenogears, you gotta cook for a bit. And then once you're 40 hours in, you're like, what drugs were they on to make this? Like, was this game made in like 20 years? Like, how long did they have to make this? How many people worked on this? This is insane. This game is definitely more impressive than Legend of Legaia, but Legend of Legaia has that wow factor from the moment you started. And it makes more sense that this game is impressive, given the team that worked on it. Legend of Legaia feels like it just came out of nowhere. Like I said, it feels like a meteor just hit the planet, and Legend of Legaia was in it, because, like, no one, I don't even think anyone really knows that team very well. Like, that team is just gone from existence now. I don't even know any. I need to look into the history of the team that made Legend of Legaia, because I straight up don't even know. Like, they came to the planet, they created it, and they left, and that was their gift to humanity. It's wild. With this game, it's like, with what they went on to do, it's like, yeah, it makes sense. Oh, he did? That's a shame. I would say that the story of Legend of Legaia is definitely, like... It's not that it's bad, but it's not what makes it super impressive. It's a mostly typical RPG story. But it is good. Like, it's better than I thought it would be when I first played it. It actually goes pretty heavy. But it's not what makes Legend of Legaia great. It's everything together that makes Legend of Legaia great. But it is a good story, and, like, especially the characters really resonate a lot. They only have the 3 main characters in Legend of Legaia, which I think, in retrospect, was really great, because it allows them to really go in depth on those 3 characters instead of having a huge roster. They just stick to the 3 and just kind of, over time, you learn a lot about those 3. Which I kind of like. I wish more games did that. It seems like there was a general feeling of we need a lot of characters on PS1. Which is probably how Chrono Cross happened. But it feels like all the characters wanted to have all of the developers wanted to have a lot of characters, so it was kind of like a check mark on the back of the box. And I wish more of them would have allowed their game to just have like 3 characters and just really delve into those 3 characters. But it was kind of just a general rule that you needed a bunch of characters in your RPG to be impressive, I guess. And then Chrono Cross happened, and everyone was like, okay, maybe less is more. Maybe less is more. This is getting a little insane. To be fair, though, with how many characters Chrono Cross has, it still does pretty good with the characters. Like, I wouldn't say the characters in Chrono Cross are bad. Like, they're all very unique and cool and interesting. They don't have much story because there's so many of them, but it's not, like, terrible or anything. But I do think maybe we could learn a lesson from that. There's a console for inputting the password. Activate the audio signal with the up, down, and left and right directional buttons. Huh. We're getting real interesting with the puzzles. What is this? I have no idea. There must be a password in one of the rooms. I like how we're getting more unique with the puzzles now. I'm excited to play Suikoden for a Let's Play at some point to see how much better they did the whole big character roster, because I've heard that Suikoden has a big character roster too. Curious to see if they did it better than Chrono Cross did. The only thing Chrono Cross did right was music. I really like the combat in Chrono Cross. I like the kind of materia-esque thing where you equip different stuff and there's different combos you get with the equipment. Like, all that was really interesting. And yes, the music in Chrono Cross is pretty incredible. Alright, we finally learned that combo. Square Triangle X. Remember the number 71. Thanks. I have a sneaking suspicion I might know the combo. Maybe. Let's go on top. Want this? I've never enjoyed something so much and been so furious at the ending. I was not furious at the ending. I was just confused. What bothers me about Chrono Cross is it tries to be too meta. Like, Chrono Trigger has its story, and it's inside of itself. Like, the story exists within itself. but then you can play it, and then in real life be like, wow, this affects me in this way. Whereas Chrono Cross, at the end, it just tries to talk to you as the player and be like, this is the feeling you should get from this. And it's like, no. No, just let me cook. Like, I don't really like when games get that. I guess for lack of better term, meta. There's times where it works in certain games, but I don't think it worked very well in Chrono Cross. It felt like a game that should exist in its own world and then tried to be meta. If the game's trying to be meta from the beginning, you know, something like Stanley Parable or Talos Principle or something, that's like, okay, I can like get into it. But when I'm playing this super fantasy game that's very fantasy from the start and has a million different crazy characters, and it just feels like I'm on this fantasy adventure, and then at the end it's like, okay, person holding the controller, this is how I want you to feel. It's like, I don't know, it just doesn't feel right. But yeah, like Final Fantasy VIII is similar, but I feel like Final Fantasy VIII didn't insult me as much. It just felt like, oh, this is really bizarre, and I maybe need to play the game again to understand it. You know? Chrono Cross left me with the feeling of like, I might be able to play this 10 more times and still have no idea what the heck they're talking about. Whereas Final Fantasy VIII gave me more of like a, oh wow, I missed a lot on my playthrough. I should really play again and try to understand this. You know what I mean? Like, it intrigued me more, the ending of Final Fantasy VIII, than Chrono Cross did. But the problem with Final Fantasy VIII is that the entire half of the game is just nonsense. The second half of the game is nonsense, so by the end of it, you're just like, okay. Final Fantasy VIII has a lot of problems. It's a great game, though. But it has a lot of problems. So how's it going? Ascended? Thanks for being here. Not enough good-looking guys. Final Fantasy VIII was worth it for the Zell hot dog saga. Cry every time. We're at like close to 50 hours now. We started at 45, so we're probably at like 49 now. No, I wasn't paying attention. I still think this guy looks like a character from Spirited Away. Don't do that. So I have an interesting theory about Final Fantasy VIII. You want to hear it? So, when they made Final Fantasy VII, they came up with the whole Zack storyline, right? But Zack is, like, not in the game at all. Like, flashback scene, and then the secret flashback scene in the Shinra mansion, right? And that's pretty... I think that is the only 2 times that Zack is even on screen. And that opened up for, when Final Fantasy VII got really popular, for them to create Crisis Core, right? Do you think that they saw the ability to create a spin-off of Final Fantasy VII with Zack, and that spawned the idea for Laguna and crew? And the idea was always to eventually make a Laguna game, but then 8 wasn't as big as 7, and they threw it away. Well, honestly, 8 was big, but for whatever reason, they decided not to. Surprisingly, 8 was actually huge. It sold incredibly well because of how popular 7 was. Only in retrospect do we look at it as a bit more of a... It was still a success, but definitely not as big of a success as 7. But when it came out, it was a huge success. Laguna's story is the main story. I think that what pokes a hole in that theory is the fact that Laguna is a big part of the ending. Whereas Zack is like... Zack sets up Cloud, but then he's gone. And if you want to learn more, play Crisis Core. Whereas, Laguna's a much bigger part of 8, and he's in the ending, so it's like you don't need to play a side game to learn more about him. You kind of saw his beginning, middle, and end. I mean, there's still a chance that Zack was the inspiration for Laguna, but then as they were making the game, they were like, you know what, let's just make him a bigger part, you know? Like, it's still a chance that they got the idea. Like, oh, we could make a character that plays alongside, and then we could make a spin-off, and then as they were making the game, they were just like, oh, you know what, he should be a bigger part of the story. Probably a lot of different side stories they could have done with 8. Even just the history and creation of Seed could have been its own game. Okay, I'm a bit confused. So the only combo I've used for the past 2 fights has been square square X. And we went from 71 to 74. But I'm pretty sure I used it more than 3 times? So now I'm kind of questioning my reasoning. It's definitely working, though. The plan is working, I just don't know if it's working the exact way that I think it's working. But it is working. Dark armor. Ooh. That's pretty good. Stupid enemy keeps draining all my EP. Good thing I have a bunch of EP items. Good thing I stocked up. I ride one of these bad boys. This looks like... I think it's supposed to be a re-education facility, because that's what it looks like. What's the general story behind this game? How many hours do you have? How much time you got? Make it brief. I'm not sure I can. At this point, like, it's not even... Okay, listen. It's not even the fact that it's complicated. It's that the plot evolves so much over the game that it's hard to give one summary. Because, like, at the beginning of the game, it's just... Guy has hidden power, burns down his village, looks for answers. And then, like... It becomes more about the war, and then becomes more about the politics, and then becomes more about the religion, and then becomes more about the secret society, and like, it evolves so much. It's not that it's complicated, it's just that it changes so much. Like, the status quo constantly changes. Almost every scene, the status quo changes. So, like, to give one summary is just kind of impossible. Like... With a game, like, with most of the Final Fantasies, you generally get the general bad guy and quest within the first few hours. But in this, it's like, it's just constantly changing. So it's not that it's, like, so complicated that I can't explain it. It's just, and it is pretty complicated, don't get me wrong, but it's more of just that it changes a lot. Like, it's just hard to give one, you know, summary. I mean, it is complicated, but it's not the reason that I can't explain it. Because you could take something complicated and give at least a summary, a lot of times. But here it's just that I don't know which part of the game I should summarize. Because it's constantly changing, you know? How's it going, Hammer? The people of the planet are ruled by a dystopian future civilization. And as war rages, a small group of individuals with pasts connected to the civilization look to bring it down and bring and put the future of the world back into the hands of normal people. That's my summon. That's pretty good. But then suddenly, the aliens attack. Wait, it says stupid allies on the box art? What? It does not say stupid allies. I think dubious and stupid are completely different adjectives there, buddy. I think the perfect summary would be, was that your mother? She's hot. Doth thou desire the power? For a second I thought you said Machina. Yeah, Satan's taking a break. He's just sleeping. Don't worry about him. So I think whenever Ellie attacks and then I cancel her combo, it says protects against ETH effects. So some kind of weird mechanic going on with Ellie. In the wild and convoluted world of Xenogears, Fei Fong Wong, an amnesiac painter with a penchant for accidentally piloting giant robots, ends up destroying his village and gets dragged into a century-long war. Along the way, he befriends a desert pirate, a pious gunman, and a sentient pink hamster, while battling against secret cults in ancient Mecca. I mean, true. You're not wrong. Throw some aliens in there and get it all figured out. And his stupid friends. They and his idiot friends do stuff. Alright, I think I'm going backwards here, but there's a save point here. I think. Let's just save here, because this area is really a huge maze. Ignorant teen hillbilly ruins everything. Story of my life, man. So relatable. Alright. We'll call it there for Xenogears today. Again, I mean, I just have to mention once again that it feels like every 2 hours you play of this game, it throws a crazy curveball at you. Oh, don't worry, the stream ain't over. We got New Threat 2.0 coming up. We're just done with Xenogears for today. But yeah, it feels like every hour or two, it just finds a way to throw more at you and make you think more and bring a character interaction you haven't seen, and like it's just so impressive. Like the original, not script, but the original, like, uh, kind of, I want to see the original thoughts of this game put into like a timeline, because there had to have been so many bullet points of like, and then this happens, 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 and then this happens. It just goes on and on and on. Like, when I think about a game like Final Fantasy VII, I could probably put a timeline of events together in bullet points, like probably within 25 or 30 bullet points. I could probably tell you like the general story of Final Fantasy VII. And that's including like every little thing that changes things. So like, you know, Barrett's interaction at the desert prison, and Red 13 going to Cosmo Canyon, and Tifa and Cloud returning to Nibelheim, and the president dying, and like just every bullet point of the game that like changes the status quo in some way. Could probably get through the entire thing within like 25 to 30 bullet points. Maybe that's a bit of an exaggeration. Maybe it would take a bit more, but you get my point. This game, I feel like we've been through 100 different scenes where something happened that changed things, and it just goes on, and there's never a lull, and there's never a quiet moment, and there's never a, oh, let's just explore this area and see. Like, even from like just an aspect of like the gameplay, they never really put us in like an area where it's like, okay, now just explore. Like, you know, oh, the old, like, I'm trying to think of a good example. Like in Final Fantasy VII, when you first get the buggy, and it's like, oh, we're going after Sephiroth, but we don't know where he is. So let's just explore with the buggy and see what happens. And then, like, you can either run into the Gungaga reactor, or you can go backwards and find the guy, the sleeping guy, or you can go forwards and end up in Cosmo Canyon, or you can just, like, explore the world map, you know, or you can go back to Gold Saucer and play games. Like, there's a lot of different options you can take at that point, right? That's like never happened in this game. We're always going forward. It's always like, and there's always stakes. It's never like, oh, let's just explore to try to figure out what's going on. Like, there's always like, someone's going to die if we don't get there within the next hour. You know, somebody's going to die. Some war is happening. Some person got abducted. We got to save them. Like, it's just always something. And it's genuinely so impressive and keeps you locked in the whole time you play. It's never boring, you know? Yes, the game has a lot of flaws, but dang, is it never boring, that's for sure. So yeah, Solaris, we're 4 hours in. This area is huge. We got here right at the beginning, and 4 hours in, we're still here learning more about Solaris. So interested to see what happens after this. I think we're on the precipice of some big stuff happening. So, yeah. That's it. Gotta say goodbye to YouTube. YouTube, thank you so much for watching Let's Play Xenogears, and thanks for continuing the conversation about the game. I love to hear everyone's thoughts and opinions. And we will see you in the next episodes. Peace.